Hello. Hello, everyone, in this very techy and girly crowd. Congratulations on the 10 years. So, as introduced, my name is Tiina Lūse, and I'm Managing Director of FinTech Latvia Association. And yesterday we had a little hiccup in creating the program. And I was asked to replace my partner in crime here. And I invited Sigita to join me yesterday. And my pitch to her was, I have to do a fireside chat on innovation, future of finance, and women entrepreneurship. And I think that you are a real embodiment of this title of the panel. So thank you, Sigita, for jumping into that. And with that, I would like to ask you to give a little bit of intro of what you do, how you got to manage Nektaro, and what Nektaro does.
Okay, thank you. Ciao. I hope I wasn't like the fifth call you made yesterday, but at least top three. Nektaro is investment platform. We are offering investment in loans. We are regulated by Bank of Latvia, the same regulator that regulates the banks. And we are doing what we are doing, finance and investment more accessible to younger generation, to first-time investors, and to investors who are just searching for their opportunities in the investment market. We have been working for 4 years. We work in Latvia, in most of the Europe countries. And I am Sigita Kotler. I am the CEO of Nektaro. I have been with Nektaro from day one, building that from the ground. And currently we are 4 years in action and around 30 million portfolio and growing.
Well, but you seem to be quite young. How did you get there? Can you tell us about the previous experience of yours?
I have been working in finance all my adult years, which is 15. So we can count from that. And the first part I worked within the banks, because if you want to disturb the scene, you need to understand the rules. And then I migrate from the banks to fintech industries. And when the shareholders of Nektaro were thinking about the launching new investment platform, they came to me and invited me basically to join the company and build and exercise the knowledge I have to gain during that previous life.
And you had enough courage to take the task on, right? I want to dig a little bit into the future of finance, but also let's start with, you mentioned that Nektaro is the investment platform, but the financial literacy is also a topic in Latvia, and I want to dig into how exactly you help people get into investments, because we know that, okay, now it's getting better, but in general, still, majority of even very well-educated people do not associate themselves with investors, because it's always thought as something rather difficult for wealthy people and so on. So what is your competitive edge?
Well, it still is quite difficult. If you want to, maybe we can take a bank example. If you want to do the investment via bank, it is near to impossible. No one can take the phone out now and just do the investment via bank. You still need to call, you need to write the recoins or whatsoever. It's still very complicated. And what we did as what usually fintechs or companies using technologies do, they are decreasing this gap. They are doing and they are offering something more accessible to the most of the people, rather than just people who know or who have access or who have the funds, but making something more accessible. And we did what we did. We took this one product from the bank, made it easy, with low entrance barrier, and made it accessible to the public and to the people in general. What we do also to encourage the investments, I think that in generally the environment for that is very good, and a lot of people and a lot of institutions are doing. There's a lot of influencers in Latvia, in the world, who are speaking, who are increasing this financial literacy, who are speaking about the investments, who are speaking about the opportunities and how to start. But it's also a very good to have something regulated with small batches that you can start and try out, because the one thing about the investments that you need to start as early as possible, and you don't need to wait like large amounts or large investment opportunities. Just start early with whatever you have on your hands.
What is the minimum amount of investment one can do in your platform?
For Nectaro, it's 50 euros, but there is also a lot of platforms here with the lower amounts. But 50 euros is something like you have already the attachment to the money, but it's still something you can try out.
Okay, and then we move also to the trust, because people, it's like very sensitive topic. The finance is always very sensitive topic. When we invest, we want to make sure that we won't lose our money, even though we understand that there might be risks attached. And especially...
all the investments hold risk.
And probably it's even more relevant if the investment is done via digital platform. So how do you manage that expectation, and how do you manage the trust issue?
For the financial institutions, the most visited page at the homepage is section about us. So if someone is searching and looking for the investments or finance in general, they usually always open the section about us, and they want to see the people, the person behind the company. And that is also I am doing. If I will be putting somewhere my money, I want to know who is managing the money, who is the beneficial owner of the whole project. So that is very important for me, for financial institutions to be public, to be with faces, to be with representatives. That is one thing. Second is definitely we can benefit from living in Europe, which means that the regulations here is at a certain level, and most of the consumer, food, and especially the finance are regulated. So search for the license or regulation or how this company is regulated. There still are plenty of unregulated, but if you speak about the trust, it means something. Maybe it doesn't mean that the risk is completely zero, but it means the company is serious enough about what they are doing to put a lot of money and effort. And no one is doing regulation to dump the project in 1 year, but that is something that you do for the long run. So those two things. And the third, the common sense about the product. Does it make sense? Do you understand it? Is it like not promising things that are not impossible? Like, do you understand the product? Do you can find information about the product? But so the product, the face is under the company, and the regulation or licensing or whatsoever is regulating the company.
So basically, always check for the license and check the trustworthiness of the platform. In general, I know that the one fact that I'm proud of is that Latvian platforms, investment platforms similar like you, are holding like approximately 25% of the market in Europe in non-banking investment, which is quite an achievement for such a small country. And with having said that, what is your take on what is the kind of main leading trends for the next years? What do you see in the investment market in Latvia and in Europe in general?
I think the fractionalization of anything, everything, which is basically means that you can take large asset like real estate, like bond or whatever, which were previously available only for super rich people or wealthy people. You can take that asset, you can do the fractionalization, which means splitting that asset into pieces and offer to everyday investors, to retail investors to invest in. Mintos is doing that for a lot of asset classes. We are also looking into that, and that is really like the revolution and democratization of investments, because something which were large and starting from 100,000 now can be split into smaller parts and offered to the investors. That is something that happens already, and I think that there is the potential and there is the need, and that will help with diversification of the wealth and also other even social issues. Tokenization is doing something similar, but I personally maybe lack the trust that it will experience huge success in the future. It will be some level of the investment world, but fractionalization, I think it's something very interesting because it makes available any asset class you can imagine.
So basically this fractionalization means that even if I have only 500 euros and don't have like, I don't know, 20 or 5,000 euros to buy a real estate as an asset class, it means I can still invest 500 into real estate, into some apartment that is generating rental income, and I get some fraction of that income as a return, right?
Exactly. So you can be investor in real estate starting for a few hundreds rather than have a few thousand or 10,000 or 100,000. So you can own the part of the apartment in Klusa's centers and receive interest rate from that, but just investing few hundreds. Also the same with the bonds, for example. There is like huge company who issues bond and the minimum investment is 10,000. So now via platforms like ours, like other in the market, you can invest starting from, I don't know, few euros.
For example, Air Baltic, which is maybe not the best bond to mention now, but that was also something that was offered to smaller investors by some platforms. What can you say about younger generation and investments? I know that is actually your platform's target group. So what is your take on that?
The trend, the numbers are showing the younger generation are growing as investors. They are like numbers of the younger people investing is growing. We still looking into that and we still want to like help to do that. The reason why young people are not investing is that they don't have the knowledge or don't have the funds, which both are very logical reasons for a young person why not to invest. And it's like not very hard, it's challenging to work with those because of course you are in the lack of the knowledge because you are just in the beginning of something, in the beginning of your journey. So we want to be there, we want to have the seminars, the information to help, to have AMA sessions, whatever, to help these new investors to invest. But that is completely normal situation that they are still gaining those knowledges and they are doing that. We are trying, we are investing, we are seeing some results. The second is the funds. Their situation is that statistically the younger people are moving from the households in later in the years. That is good for the investments because they have this free money that they maybe are spending someone else and also investing. So they do enter the investment market earlier, even if they are leaving the household later. So maybe there is some correlation that maybe the investments receiving some money that they're not using for renting their own place. But overall, the situation is good. I think that the numbers are growing and the sentiment is growing, and also a lot of events is happening. For example, tomorrow the Investor Festival is happening here, and there is completely free stages for youngers to go and to listen about the investments and to receive all the information and things like that is happening.
Okay, and now move to the innovation part. So can you maybe give, like, I don't know, 3 practical examples on the innovation AI? Like, what have you done recently in Nektaro? What has worked? And maybe also, like, one failure.
Jesus. About the innovation, what helps us, there is some stigma around the word innovation. It seems something big. It seems that you need to come up with something that will disturb the scene or something like that. We don't really use the word innovation as much at Nektaro. We are a small team. We have our goals, and innovation seems that something that has created this heaviness that you need to innovate. Innovate is something that has never happened, never been, something completely new. What we do, we creating new ideas, we sharing new ideas. And what I have learned, what is super helpful for that is to create the environment when it is super supportive to have new ideas and to implement those ideas. If you have like someone compliance or someone from IT sharing new idea, it's very cool because it means that you have created the environment where this is welcome and this is supportive. So for me, I see my main goal in the team to create the environment where those ideas can be born. and then to try to implement them. Well, currently we are working on one project which were created by a compliance officer, just like he said, this idea might be stupid, but there is the idea, and we're now implementing that. So I think that rather than even the workshops or some targets, it is very important to have the environment where you feel free to innovate, where your ideas are supported and not maybe mocked out. About maybe the failures, what I also have learned, what I recently heard in one podcast, is that there is no wrong decisions, and it really resonated with me. So I can't really share that maybe mistakes or something, because if you have good intentions and some level of competence, then most of your decisions are the best that you could do in that situation. So I'm in very much calm with decisions that Nektaro has made during the way, and I still think that maybe there was not the best from this perspective, but there was at that point the best we could make. And what was the third point? AI.
No, that went together with the innovation, so no need to elaborate specifically unless you have some very good example on implementation.
I don't have a good example yet.
Okay.
Cooking.
And in the closure, like shortly about women in entrepreneurship, there still is this assumption that especially in finance, there is it's kind of mainly male-dominated. I also know that you started managing Nektaro when you were at the same time building the platform and also undergoing the licensing with the regulator, which is the second toughest license after the banking license. So what is your comment on that? Do you see that in Baltics it is also a reality that is still largely male-dominated? And tell us about the experience.
Statistically, Latvia is in a very good place. I think it is one of the top countries in the Europe where the male and female domination in C-levels and in managing the companies and the departments are in very good relationships. I didn't experience any maybe issues around that, but there is natural is not the correct word, but maybe. Well, a lot of questions to unpack. So I don't see, statistically, there is no really issue. When I was building, I wasn't even thinking about that and seeing that in that way.
But was there something in your experience that made you feel that if you would be a man, it would be different?
No, I can't recall. No, because, also, if you speak about male-dominated world or male domination market, I think it is important not to compare us, or maybe not to fight or not to try to win in the male-dominated world, but to create the world where there is the place for both and all of the genders, and where we can do and work equally good, and not to be dominated by one side and another, and not to maybe try to win or to train ourselves to act like a man, to make decisions like a man, to speak like a man, but just to create the world where all the genders can live in and be equally successful.
What would be your one advice to the future and current tech girls who are thinking that they would be willing to manage a company one day or found a company one day? Where to get that last bit of braveness to start it?
To have some fun, not to judge themselves so much, and to listen to very inspiring music, because that helps.
On this note, and we are out of time as well, I have a few very good takeaways. Don't judge you over your sort of failures because you took the learnings out of them. Don't discriminate between men and female in business. just do it and listen to some fun music, was it? Thank you, Sigita. Thank you, everyone. And have a nice day.